There we go. Welcome in, everybody. I appreciate y'all coming and hanging out today, this evening, what have you. So, I'm going to work here in about 2 hours, so we'll see how far I get. I don't know if this will be my final Pacific Drive stream or if there'll be another one after this because I'm not going to complete it. But we're going to try out, see how far we can get. So, welcome in. Let's see here. Jump over Discord. Chat. And let's boot up Pacific Drive. Christy, OE, how y'all doing tonight? Appreciate you coming and hanging out. I'm probably going to be saying this a lot tonight, but I appreciate you having some patience with me yesterday. And sorry about the snafu with the stream. Good to hear, Christy. Good to hear. All right. So there is the remnant, all tricked out, ready to go on a trip to the well. So these are the upgrades that I've got installed on the car. We've got 5 Olympium doors, 5 Olympium panels, so it's all armor. Up on the roof, we've got the chronodilator and a gas reservoir. In the side racks, we've got a fuel synthesizer and a battery on one side. The other side is another battery and the anchor energy converter. So I'll be able to grab anchors. Since I don't need the anchor energy anymore to unlock things in the fabrication station, I can take the anchor and transfer it directly into power for the car. Then on this side, we've got a high capacity battery in the back seat. This other back seat has got an expanded back seat tank. So we're just all gas and battery power. Thanks, Christy. I appreciate it. Yeah, I went back and forth for a while on how I wanted to color the car and what decals to use. And then my second to last run or something that I did looking for achievements, I stumbled across another sticker decal set of the Radium Driver, which are the glow-in-the-dark stars and moon and stuff. And that's my favorite decal set because it makes the car very easy to find. There we go, OE. Glass half full, my friend. Alright, full gas tank. There we go. We're not going to throw that yet. Let's go out into the zone. And okay. So that's my eventual goal. So we're going to have to go through like that. So let's see. This one we're going to re-roll. There we go. This one we're going to try and re-roll. And again. And again. And again. Not anymore. Okay. Alright. So now we're going to come out here so we don't have the radio playing in our ear. Alright, so there's the upgraded garage with all the bells and whistles. Alright, and now we are going to start going through my logbook, catch everybody up on the story. Alright, so sources and not conditions. No, there's still 7 I didn't scan. Condition, found items, crafting, statuses, auto shop. What do I not have? Oh. Give me just a second, I got somebody at my door. Alright, there we go. A little reminiscent of yesterday, didn't mean to startle everybody. Skank Biscuit, what's happening? How you doing, man? Mercenary 101, what's happening? Alright. So I don't know what I'm missing out of the auto shop. That's kind of weird. But okay. Alright. So, we're going to start with our records as we go back over the lore of the game here.
I have the distinct honor to introduce to you the American
Doing good, Skang.
a new scientific
Let me know how sound is.
with a raw power like limb technology in the good hands of true patriots like Dr. Ophelia Turner. The potential
That is how it happens, Merc. Definitely.
this day we welcome our Faraday future.
Always tip your milkman.
The year is 1955. Dr. Ophelia Turner is standing next to President Koch, the top of her head barely clearing his shoulder. She stands, stiff-backed, her hazel eyes affixed on the glass and steel chamber in front of her. She does not appear to breathe until a ball of light appears out of thin air. The sight is tremendous, a lightning bolt frozen mid-strike, and the reaction immediate. The gathering audience roars with excitement and spontaneous applause. But Dr. Turner?
Merc has a milkman. I don't know which is more
She hears the audience at all.
surprising.
Dr. Turner and President Koch pose for a picture, and she does not smile even then. That picture is the image splashed across newspapers and science journals for the next decade. The mother of limb technology, they called her. The angel of a new age. The newspapers at that time laid the titles on thick while peddling the impending utopia. Then she recedes into the bowels of a government research facility. She's never seen again in public. There are scant appearances here and there in blink and you miss it promotional videos and blatant propaganda fodder, and then
You gotta be sneaky.
and the promise
Gotta
of
be
limb
sneaky.
technology disappear. The press coverage of limb technology is bright-eyed and bushy-tailed at first. In the decade between 1955 to 1965, limb is called many things. The promise of the future, the herald of a new age, the never spoken of.
Oh, that sounds
We don't
unfortunate,
dig very
Mark.
deep for the gaps in the story to emerge. The presidential demonstration is the only physical proof we ever see of it. Compared to the Manhattan Project, developed under airtight shroud of secrecy, why was limb paraded around in the papers? And if it really was the technological quantum leap to answer all our wildest dreams, why did it blink out of existence? The story of limb technology is one hell of a maze, and the key to it is a woman named Dr. Ophelia Turner. Did Ophelia Turner, by all measure a failed physicist as far as her public record goes, truly invent limb technology?
Now she's an old lady living in the zone, calling herself Oppie.
An atomic Annie to excite the masses during the no-holds-barred race against the Soviet Union? Was she a myth, martyr, or monster? A figment of the imagination? True savior? Or a convenient scapegoat? I'm Chiaki Saruhashi. This 9-part series, I aim to find out.
That's a good question, Skang. That is a very good question. We gotta find out. Hold on. Check something. This 9-part series. But that's all I found is 8 files. Is 8 episodes. God damn it. Bloody hell. Alright.
Welcome back. This is Frequency File, Episode 2. In the last episode, I told you about the curious case of Dr. Ophelia Turner. When it comes to this enigmatic individual, one of 3 versions is true. Myth, martyr, or monster. To be able to weigh her...
You can't claim causality unless you can prove it, Mark.
We must first set the stage. When I started down this path to discover who she was, what she did, and ultimately what happened to her, I didn't expect it to lead me to the
KCD2.
mysteries of the Pacific Northwest, the Olympic Exclusion Zone. But let me rewind.
What's that?
In northwest Washington state, there are 3,600 square miles of vibrant wilderness called the Olympic Peninsula. Bounded
Kingdom
on
Come
three
Deliverance
sides, it was
2.
a wonderland for outdoorsy types, with snow-capped
I don't
mountains and
think
sand
I played the
barriers
first
and
one there, Skeng.
rainforests. Up until 1955,
I'm gonna have to look into it because I'm looking for new games to play on stream.
Ophelia Turner.
I think the next one I'm gonna replace this with is Penkura.
And it turns out,
Give that a
Lim
shot.
was a sacrificial lamb for the promise of limb technology. In true fashion, the government never comes out and says that's what led to the creation of the Olympic exclusion zone. But the chain of events were in plain sight. Strange accidents, leading to the government's claim of eminent domain and subsequent seizure of the peninsula. The evacuation of 100,000 people and the attempt and abject failure at containing the rumors that spread like wildfire. Because it turns out, even with the government's resources at your disposal, keeping secrets...
1,000-hour game, nice.
You can bet there was plenty of talk as a result.
That's
Luckily,
a
because
solid,
plenty of questions.
solid amount of time to put into a game.
Here's what we know. Over 50 years ago, in November of 1946, Dr. Ophelia Turner was 27. She had recently returned home to the Olympic Peninsula to lick her wounds after a failed stint in academia. In a fit of obsession or redemption, or, quite frankly, both, she cobbled together a laboratory in her basement and produced the first limb wave on nothing but
They almost
challenge,
perfectly recreated a
plain
30 square
utility.
kilometer section of
Or
medieval
so the story goes.
Bohemia,
It's never
including
clearly
churches and
stated
one-for-one.
anywhere what limb waves and
Wow,
limb technology really were.
that's
It's all
pretty
vague
cool.
claims and wild theories, dreams that
3 times?
mystical
Holy
from the
fuck,
scientific.
dude. And if
What we
you're
do know is that
recreating
limb
it perfectly,
stands for unlimited
that adds a
frequency.
whole new
Radio
layer.
waves, once
A whole nother
synced,
layer
modulated
crazy
just
to it.
right,
That's
supposedly
awesome.
enable the
Okay.
control of matter
Very, very
in a way
cool.
that modern science
I'm thinking
back
about
then
it. I'm
and
gonna move
now
that.
could
There
only
we
dream
go.
of. After Dr. Turner's discovery, she and a few friends, scientists and PhDs all, toyed with limb in their garage labs for about 4 years. The local police and fire departments start making regular house calls, spurred on by increasingly disgruntled neighbors calling in about incidents that seem to grow larger and more disturbing as the years go on. After one too many reports, the federal government takes notice, and thus begins their severe interest in limb technology. The next part happens quickly. In
Most accurate
1955,
historical
the United States
RPG.
government seizes not only
They're a
the physical
primary
limb
history
of Dr.
enthusiast. It's
Turner
like a
and the
history
scientist's
lesson
live,
mixed
but
with
the
an
entire
RPG.
concept of limb
Unique.
technology.
Ooh, okay.
The area is at first
Alright,
funded
I gotta make a
under
note
the
of that
pretense
there,
of
Skeng.
safety, but quickly commandeered
Because
by
that
the government.
sounds
They established
right
a
down my
private
alley,
department
my
called
friend.
ARDA, Advanced Resonance Development Authority, which was to be headed by Dr. Turner herself. Over
Come.
the next 15 years, the government expands the zone's borders. They clear out civilians as they go and erect massive 500-meter walls
Two.
to keep out
Alright,
an
I'm gonna check that one
increasingly
out.
curious public. The zone started in the northernmost tip of the peninsula, then expanded outward twice. Once in 1961, again in 1967, to the outer perimeter.
They made
See
part
now.
1 with 25, now they're 10 times as big? Hell yeah.
After the multi-stage evacuation of the Olympic Peninsula's 100,000-strong population, the records get sketchy.
I wonder.
Once the region is swept clean of civilian eyes,
Quick.
the flow of information trickles to an eventual stop. ARDA has always maintained that the evacuation was done in the name of national security, that there was simply nothing more patriotic than sacrificing your homes, with the communists plotting our demise across the Atlantic. Certainly not because there
See
was
if I
any
can
danger
find
from
any
the
more
strange experiments happening inside, or situations most
Those.
unnatural to witness. ARDA kept a wide berth, displacing citizens far
Since there should
into
be
the
an
front
episode
line, so
9.
first-hand accounts of things going awry were rare. But rumors spread fast, and everyone had some story about a distant relative whose pet changed in inexplicable ways, or a friend of a friend who followed strange lights into the woods and never returned. Once the civilians cleared
Looking
out,
at these
the
things
ARDA
over
employees
here.
moved in. Scientists, officials, support staff, and their families made the Olympic exclusion zone home, reaching anywhere from 300 to 1,000 in
See.
total at its peak. What any of them were doing in the zone was kept hush-hush, but the population just outside the walls found the secrecy irresistible. Every shipment
As
of raw
people
material,
tend to.
out-of-season weather pattern, and inexplicable light or sound became the talk of the town for the first decade of the zone's existence.
Alright. Yep. Okay.
Sadly, that's about where the cold, hard facts end. Listeners, I tried. I really did. I started my investigation in the usual fashion,
With all
digging
three,
up every piece
with all their
of
left
record I
socks
could
missing.
get. The paperwork
Same,
is
absolutely left
everything
Twix
to
as well.
up until 1955.
I have the crazy sock story myself. I dug out a bunch of odd socks in the washing machine and eaten one day. Put them in a bin.
Photos, all readily available
What?
for anyone with the patience to walk themselves into a county office. Those materials don't tell me
He's
much,
looking out for you,
but
Skang.
I quickly enforced
Look at that.
a
He's like,
target
he
to key
definitely did
sources.
not mean to throw away all these odd
Before the
socks.
downing of multiple
I gotta
passenger
hook him
planes
up here.
and the subsequent establishment of the no-fly zone in 1962, crude aerial photos are taken and circulated. This is where things
So I
get
do got an extra
interesting.
Liberator.
I find fuzzy shots
I've
of
got
what
extra
appears to be
scrappers.
entire mountains relocating overnight, buildings disappearing
Magnetic.
and reappearing at random,
That's good enough.
and lakes
Yeah,
filled with
alright.
water or light, depending on the time of day. The resolution is dubious.
Kind-hearted
making
man.
them inkblot tests in their own right. They are the stuff of dreams among amateur investigators and conspiracy theorists alike. The most outlandish, improbable, and extremely unverifiable stories came from breachers, people rumored to have jumped, tunneled, hot air ballooned their way through the walls. If they're to be believed, there is much to be uncovered. But more on that later. Limb technology is not paraded around in the press for long. As the government withdraws acknowledgement that it ever existed, the public's interest similarly begins to wane. The last verifiable activity is an exodus of ARDA employees from the zone, beginning in 1981 and followed swiftly by a full decommissioning of the zone in 1987. After which, those 3,600 square miles are sealed away and left behind with no explanation. A tomb, minutes away from the populous, perfectly normal city of Seattle, with decades of history and secrets locked inside. And that is where I'm left to fill in the enormous, ill-defined gaps.
Well, thank
So
goodness
that's
for
the
you.
history of the Olympic exclusion zone. We know it absolutely existed and that something blighted the area. Dr. Ophelia Turner was a real person who grew up there, and limb technology, claimed to be her invention, was the reason the zone was created. The facts point to either the pursuit of limb or the technology itself doing something terrible to the area, and maybe even to the people who stayed behind.
Well, yeah.
For such a vast, valuable area as the Olympic Peninsula to be lost to the world for the indefinite future, someone needed to take the fall. The evidence in this corner paints the target square on the martyr part of this equation. Or did Dr. Ophelia Turner know what she was unleashing upon her homeland? If she did it willingly, then she would have been a monster. But if the government strong-armed her into it, then she would have had no choice but to become a martyr. To answer that question, we need more information still.
I was probably better there with Neil the Sock Man. My neighbor in the new place hit someone with a metal implement and is now in jail. You might have been better off, Skang. Yeah.
How do you force
While this plays,
100,000 people
I gotta go
out of
get
their
something to drink.
homes without facing major resistance? Even if you're the United States government, facing down what's being peddled as the greatest threat our nation has ever faced, the answer is you don't. This is Frequency File, Episode 3, The Human Cost. Last episode, I reported all the cold, hard facts I could get my hands on. If you missed that episode, here's the summary. There wasn't much. Now, we jump tracks to the stories of the people, to knit together old records and eyewitness accounts to form some fabric of the true story. Whoever's job it was at ARDA to suppress stories did a really good job. What they did to keep that sheer number of people from talking, and then to smear the stories that did come out, was a masterstroke of obfuscation. Unfortunately for Arda, the cases that made it all the way to court became public record. And the facts were these. Arda played nice at first with a generous relocation package. We offered cold, hard cash
Playing
and built
Elden Ring DLC, gotcha.
in nearly every
Playing some
state
Cyberpunk again to tide you over. Yeah, I thought about giving Cyberpunk another shot there.
where you were sure to be
Skang.
surrounded by all-American families who shared your same values, while enjoying the benefits of government-subsidized grocery stores, school districts, and manicured public parks. Not a bad deal from the looks of things. When it came to
On the surface.
people who wouldn't leave for any amount, things got ugly. But in the end,
Ashland is coming out in a couple weeks. Nice. For Valheim. That'll be a big one. It's one of the best expansions ever. Okay.
But it doesn't specify when
That's cool.
or how this compensation be made, and many dissenters ended up with nothing through good old loopholes and bureaucracy. Some of whom are still pursuing their claims to this day. But the chilling thing is, those left with empty pockets consider themselves lucky. There is a saying they mutter amongst themselves under their breath, that at least they had the luck to not live in Sierram.
Oh. Alright then.
Of the witnesses to the Sierram disaster that are still alive, most aren't willing to speak to me. But one eyewitness account remains the most damning report of what happened. Meet Lou Arganza. She was 9 when she last saw her parents alive. You were born in the zone.
Totally changed up the gameplay. It's much faster paced. Okay. The one complaint I had that actually Manbeard brought up in Discord was that it's super lore heavy. Just text walls and stuff. Okay. I heard they overhauled the police system. That was absolutely necessary. It was a joke.
Pick apart animal droppings and sketch birds, things like that. It was my favorite thing as a kid. But that year, I really didn't want to go. Something called the Limb Fair was coming to Sierram, and I begged my dad to let me stay. He told me I could see it the following year. Well, that obviously didn't happen.
Obviously.
The Limb Fair. Arda advertised it as a good old-fashioned small-town get-together, a miniature world fair of sorts for the hard-working government employees and their families that lived in Sierram Town. The flyers and brochures I've gotten my hands on promised all manner of things mundane and fantastical. Kiss your low-tech washing machine goodbye. Take home this limb nebulizer and zap your clothes and diapers clean. Why break your back trimming your lawn when LimTech can transform your grass into something? This push to get
Touche, Skang, touche. I'm doing this to kind of catch everybody up on the story before I go and beat the game.
The cynical reason, and most popular interpretation, is that it was a PR push to rehabilitate LimTech's image. By 1973, there'd been enough reports of radioactive fallout and inexplicable disappearances that suspicion of what Arda was doing was high. Where were you when the Sierram incident happened?
At base camp about 20 miles out of town. The sirens went off during dinner, and we barely had time to wonder whether it was a drill or real before the shockwave rolled through. Luckily, we'd been through the disaster procedure days before. We dove under our tables to take cover. We were just kids, and at first thrilled for the drama
I know.
in real time. It was hours
Let me date all the... Still managed to get rejected by all... You know, it's a skill, Mark. It really is.
Take your time.
It's been 20 years, and I still can't go anywhere near a county fair of any sort.
What did they tell you?
Dun, dun, dun.
Nothing.
Sad times.
Business. Hurrying us onto the trucks with boarded-up windows. We weren't even allowed back in our cabins to pack our belongings. They breezed us out of the zone. It wasn't until days later when most of us were deposited in an orphanage that... we learned that our parents died.
Lou's account is one of the most damning and holds up to the best of my verification efforts. She's told that story many times and hadn't changed this story in the ensuing years. Chalk it up to good memory or deeply seated trauma, but it is, as far as I can tell, real. The stories from others, however, inspire a healthy dose of skepticism. Those who weren't too scared of government retaliation were few. And the ones who shared their stories loved their 15 minutes of fame a little too much. Any talk show or gossip rag.
This is Pacific Drive, gang. So
from these types and made peace
this is in
for someone like me.
Takes place in the Olympic Peninsula of Washington State.
Because these stories, as
And
every good gossip knows, morphed over time.
The government has walled this off for experimentation of something called limb energy. And now it's a radioactive walled off area that I broke into. And I found this car. And this car is called a remnant. It's some sort of semi-sentient, extra-dimensional something or other. And it's trying to get back to the well, which is where I'm going to take it right now. And we find out that this serum disaster that she's talking about was triggered by a previous remnant reaching the well. So, here we go. That was 3. Okay, let's do this part 5 real quick.
Finally, back to the question of Ophelia Turner. The fact
And
is,
I think we're going to
most
jump
people I
into
spoke
actual
to
storyline.
How is it that the supposed
Recordings.
inventor of limb technology herself, who ostensibly led the ARDA R&D project, wasn't known across the board? It's almost as if the American public knew her more than the people who worked and lived in the zone, thanks to the PR machine. But how does that all balance out? The best I could get were vague acknowledgments, mainly from scientists. Mind you, this lot was also the most tight-lipped.
Getting the groceries, but in survival mode, yes.
Spoke of her as if she were an urban legend herself.
I mean, I heard her name from time to time. Never saw her once, though.
I don't remember an Ophelia. Oh, but there was an Alan Turner who was heavily involved in limb R&D. Not a lot of women in the labs. I would have noticed one for sure.
Curiouser and curiouser.
Okay, let's see here. Okay. Alright, so these are game time, or in-game recordings.
Hello? Someone out there? Hello? Could have sworn never mind. Francis, the radar's acting up again. You were supposed to tune up this piece of junk years ago.
And these are all communications I've picked up through the car's radio.
Wait, is that? Oh, the signal. Yes, it's back. It's back. This is Tobias Barlow and Francis. Located in
She ain't slick.
Do you read me? I'm picking up your distress.
Only if you live in Detroit.
Zone. It looks like you're somewhere around Sector E. Hey, Francis, come here. Yes, it's urgent. Leave that interferometer alone for a second. Something is out there.
Interferometer.
Hey, we got a live one. Hey, do you copy? Hello? Hello? Is this thing working?
They don't have a transmitter. We won't hear a thing back.
Huh. But if they're stranded, could they,
I'm a breacher.
from outside?
That's my character. I broke into the zone to deliver something. And I have an accident. And I find this car once I break in.
This one won't either.
That's a good point. Hey, you're in serious danger. The instability's closing in, and it's
Gonna scramble me.
quicker than beef in a blender. Your closest shelter is a few miles east. Get there however you can and be quick about it. Hey, whoa, hey, hold the phone. There it is again, that blip on the spectrometer. I've seen that waveform before, but where? No kidding. Could it be? A remnant?
It can't be. There hasn't been one in decades.
A
Get
remnant.
spectral fingerprint and tell me that doesn't match the remnants exactly.
No. What we should be looking at is how fast this creature seems to be moving.
Huh. You know, if I didn't know better, I'd say they're going about the speed of a... No way. Do not tell me. They found a remnant and it's a car this time?
It's a car this time.
Cripes! No one's had working wheels in here for ages. Boy, I'd kill to know how a combustion engine's still chugging away out there.
Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, the breacher needs to get to safety. Then we can look into whether that car is a remnant or not.
In my heart of hearts, I already know. They're back, baby.
In his heart of hearts.
Go on and let yourself in. Hoppy ain't gonna like you poking around in there, but better to face a bad side than let the zone eat you alive.
Who's there? The shop has been breached.
Hoppy.
5 seconds ago.
Or Ophelia Turner.
Ow! My head.
Get a little drunk there, Hoppy.
It's an emergency broadcast.
Hello, attention. This message is for Dr. Ophelia Turner. We sent a breacher to your garage on official zone business.
Official
Now,
zone
we have
business.
very good authority that this person is in possession of a remnant, which has taken the form of a car and, well,
Off the remnant thing. She's not.
Super official zone business.
Right, like you said, super official zone business. Protocol demands that you keep them alive until we can get them to safety. Now, if you do not comply, I will occupy this
Now that's a
broadcast
threat,
channel with
right there.
a recitation of the entire collection of poems.
Skang, thanks for dropping by. Good seeing you, my friend. I'm gonna have to look into that Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Don't let that voice goes like a nail gun to the skull. So, another breacher, huh? How do you outsiders not understand?
I have to go further to get out of the range of the radio.
All out there for fun. Unless you're one of the unfortunates who got zapped through. Wait, I just remembered. I don't give a damn why or how you got here. You're trespassing, and I'd kindly like you to get the hell out of my zone. God, unfortunately, the barrier wall is as fortified against breaches trying to get in as it is against anyone or anything trying to leave. We have to fight.
Okay, I definitely will, Skang.
So you might as well start.
Culinary Zest, what's happening? How you doing?
Break anything in my shop with those soft hands of yours.
Soft hands.
Oh, there's a little prototype of mine in the garage. The Arc device. Hook it up to your car, wherever it'll fit.
Okay, passenger seat. That's where we put it.
It's your North Star and the only way back to safety. Heck, you should consider it the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit if you plan on staying alive. That's how important
If I
this
plan on
will be
it.
to you. Yes, if you're all set, take a look at the projector against the wall. This is the zone. Within these borders, all matter has lost the ability to hold a constant physical state.
Oh, that's all?
What that
No big deal.
means is the shape, size, and makeup of just about everything constantly changes. A mile of grass can
I'll
turn
only
into
get in
10
on that.
miles of swamp in the blink of an eye, and it does. Constantly. It's caused by something we call instability. We're completely surrounded by it, and once you've watched it chew through entire mountain ranges, you'll understand that you don't want to get anywhere near it. We can
Yeah.
only survive in here within pockets of stability. That's what you're standing in now. And that's what you're seeing mapped on the route planner. If we're going to find you a way out of the zone,
I made it
we
in.
need to build a new antenna. Until then, you won't be able to detect stabilized routes beyond your immediate area. So, you've got to go hunting for parts, and that means taking a drive. Go on, pick a route. The Arc device in your car will then show you where you need to go.
Well, okay then.
Make a left out of the garage and follow the access road. If you're in a bind, pay a visit to the friendly dumpster out back. I always seem to find just what I need in there.
Those anchors may look like glowing balls of magic, but it's Limtech through and through. Don't be scared. They haven't exploded in anyone's face.
Recently.
That radio station's up on a hill somewhere. Eyes to the horizon. Okay, newbie. I'll keep this simple. Don't want to overwhelm that little brain of yours.
Well, thanks for not
You'll need a few
overwhelming me,
things to
Abby.
rebuild the antenna at the garage. First on the list is plasma. The woods are littered with plasma generators. Look for a research trailer or a spark tower. That's those antenna things zapping you when you get too close.
Well, okay,
They're
those
always
things.
accompanied by plasma generators. The Octavice is picking up on some plasma generators nearby. Your headset has a built-in scanner. Use it on the plasma generator. And
Oh,
you'll
yeah.
find the tools you need. Looks
Made
like
it back.
it's ripe for the picking. Can't get at it with your hands, though. An impact hammer will do the trick.
Well,
Find
then,
those
let's use an
materials by any
impact
means
hammer.
necessary. No one's coming back ever again, so go on and take what you need. Transports, homes, outposts, facilities, they've all been abandoned since the zone was decommissioned in 87. Most of those structures won't even be there the next time the instability surrounds
That's
the
such a
area.
good little
So loot to your
wrinkle
heart's
to the
content.
story that allows them to
Move away.
explain the proc gen of each.
Well, looks
of all
like
the
you're
different
heading for
areas.
the radio
I like
stations.
that.
That ought to be prime pickings for antenna parts. I've loaded its approximate location to your map. Look for an antenna tower up on a hill somewhere. Time to get moving. The instability's ticking up by the second. But you can't get back the way you came. The instability makes all routes one way. And that's where my Octavice comes into play.
Well, that's where it
Get you
comes
back
into
to the
play.
garage, but it needs to be charged first. And to do that, you'll need anchors.
That's a sexist outcome there, OE.
It maps all anchors in the nearby area. Find an anchor and feed it to the Octavice to charge it. But don't you worry your pretty little head about how it works. You'll be out of here soon, so there's no reason to learn more about limb technology than you need to know.
No
The
reason.
Octavice is charged and ready. You'll use it to open a gateway back to the garage, but it will immediately collapse the stability.
Immediately collapse.
So only activate when you're absolutely ready to leave. You do not want to get caught in the storm that follows.
Definitely
See
not.
that glowing pillar into the sky? Drive into it. Yes, it looks like hot death, but it's so much better than getting scrambled by the instability.
So much better.
Look at you, out in the zone all on your own. They grow up so fast, don't they? And Oppie, back at the helm. Been a long time, old gal. Didn't think we'd, talk again after that whole Sasquatch incident.
Yes,
Sasquatch incident. That sounds interesting. I want to hear more. Yes, it looks like hot death.
Too, Oppie. And no, I'm still here.
Hey, driver, I bet you're dying to hear all about the remnants by now.
Can you not? I'm a little busy trying to keep them alive.
I'll keep to the basics, I promise. They deserve to know what they're getting into.
Fine. I'm giving you
60 seconds.
That is not nearly enough time to get...
55 seconds and counting.
Okay. The remnants, in short, they're old objects that do all sorts of weird things. They bind themselves to people, and you're the latest victim. You and the car are inseparable now. So get
Inseparable.
acquainted.
Okay.
Once the remnant is bound to someone, they become gradually more obsessed with it. It takes over the victim's mind until they go crazy and run off into the zone with it.
Well, that's what we're
No
doing.
one has ever been able to resist its siren call. That fixation is probably worming its way into your brain as we speak. This is the first time we've ever got our hands on one. But we know all about the past remnants, and oh gosh, this one time it materialized as an old copper kettle, and the tea that came out of that thing, it was...
Now I'm splitting the transmissions going to your receiver. Anything critical to your immediate needs will broadcast directly and immediately to your radio and headset. Anything not mission critical will be on a low priority frequency. Those transmissions will be recorded and indexed for you to listen to at your leisure. And by low priority, I mean just about everything that comes out of Tobias's mouth.
Just about.
My, where are our manners? Driver, we never introduced ourselves. Not really.
Well, thank you,
Tobias
Tobias.
Barlow, former Artem maintenance manager. Oh, and here with me is Dr. Francis Cook.
I was a R&D scientist researching limb technology right here in the zone.
We live right in the mid-zone. Just a hop, skip, and a jump over another big old wall from where you're at. Oh, And that old bat over there? That's Dr. Ophelia Turner, former director of research and development herself. The mother of limb technology, the maven of electromagnetism.
That's enough.
Resident party pooper. Hey, Hoppy.
Party pooper.
Look, I keep thinking, the way you're helping our friend here right now seems positively helpful. Seems like me, you're looking to turn a new leaf or something?
The only thing I want to look at is a 12-year-old whiskey. And the back of this breacher's head when I send them packing.
But isn't it worth taking a detour to run just a tiny little test?
Just a tiny
Can't
one.
think of a worse way to spend my time.
Please. I've seen you manipulate waveforms with your right hand and knock back a double with your left.
Well, there we go.
To understand, you've lost your touch.
What I'm understanding is that you won't shut the hell up until I test this remnant.
Yep.
Fine, stop crowding my frequency.
What? Wait, really?
He didn't expect it to work.
Darling, you never give in this easily. What's going on?
Francis?
Yes?
How have you not thrown him to the bunnies by now?
80 years old and only getting sharper by the day. You're a legend. A role model.
I'm giving you 10 seconds to get out of my...
Okay, we're signing off.
Hey, driver, good luck out there. And watch out for the bunnies. They are a doozy.
The bunnies. Watch out for the bunnies.
Well, you're alive. Was certain if the zone didn't get you, that gateway would. Did I not mention that you're the first human I've sent through that thing? I mean, rodents, but it's not
Well, thank
completely
goodness I could test it out for you.
It worked. So, you should have made it back with everything you collected out there. That's the beauty of the gateway. It's the only way to get back with all your marbles intact. Now, take those parts you found into the back room. I'll let you use my fabrication station.
For now.
That station will concoct ways for you to rig up anything from...
Either one. Bunnies. Bunnies are usually the green ones, not the hares.
Easy as pie, but it requires anchor
Man, that achievement was a pain in the ass to get. I had to drive several miles with the bunny on my car, just back and forth over a strip of highway that didn't have any abductors or anything on it. God, that took forever.
Antenna signals coming through loud and clear. Give it a moment to initialize. And we're patched. Everything's in working shape, more or less. Ready to make this remnant verification a one-and-done thing? I'm sending you to visit Colossal Cappy. If that
I got it, yeah. Yeah, it took a while. I've got 4 achievements still remaining. 3 of them are tied to the end game. The 4th one I can't get to pop. I don't know why. I've tried multiple times and just can't get it to proc.
I advise you not to take the zone lightly. You better gear up or you may not survive the trip. Which would make my life easier, so your call.
Thanks, Oppie. Good to know you care.
Heading back out. You'll need the space. Are you making use of my fabrication station to fix up that junker? You should while I'm still in the mood to allow it. And there's the test track behind the garage, if you need to take anything for a spin.
I've never tried the test track out. Where's the test track? Behind the garage?
They got themselves over the wall. They'll find a way to survive.
Ah, this is the test track. Okay.
Or not. Won't be my problem at that point.
I'd hardly call what we're doing here surviving.
Look, hey, both of you always going on and on about putting up with this and showing that. There's more to life than that, you know. You, for example, Oppie, you're brilliant. You controlled fundamental forces of nature with your fingertips. Both of you did.
Slow down there, kid. We were scientists, not superheroes.
Well, I mean, look, hey, to someone who was all thumbs when it came to science, they're one and the same. I just don't understand why you're wasting away here, borrowed away in the zone. Both of you, you're sitting on so much lost potential.
Potential is a carrot on a stick for the young. An illusion to keep you forging on when you should have given up long ago. Nothing had more potential than limb technology. And look what it did to the Olympic Peninsula. What I did. Look around. We're stuck here. For good. All we can do is survive. Everything else is moot.
I forgot what a charmer you are, Oppie. An absolute living ray of sunshine and optimism.
Absolutely.
Oh, and about those anomalies. I don't recommend you spend much time around them. Unless you've got a death wish, in which case, be my guest. When we're all dead and gone, and limb technology but a footnote in the history books, the anomalies will remain. They're the legacy of our work here, and the Olympic Peninsula belongs to them now.
Well, okay then.
Damn it, you piece of crap, come back on already.
Alright. Be back in a second.
Cappy fried my transmission systems. Thought I lost you for a moment. Well, it all worked out, didn't it? The gateway got you out, and it looks like the ARC device is still intact with all the data it's recorded from your drive. And my plan worked. Cappy amplified the car signal and it matches. Looks like Tobias and Francis found their remnant after all. Unfortunately, what they've been saying is true. The remnants drive their victims mad. Maybe that car, having sat dormant for this long, will give you a little more time. I'm sorry, I don't have better news for you. I'm still game to get you out of here. The faster you leave, the longer you'll have to enjoy the rest of your sanity. None of the routes you've mapped so far leads to a way out. Why don't you head back out and chart some more? You can get in touch with Tobias and Francis while you're out there. The ARC device needs different charge levels to overcome the conditions for a gateway. You'll have to feed anchors to the ARC device until it's satisfied.
She does kind of sound like Captain Janeway now that you mention it, Sissy.
Have you found the friendly dumpster yet? It's behind the shop. If you're ever in dire need, pay it a visit. As much as the zone takes away, sometimes she also provides. You trying to figure out how to pay me a visit? Don't bother. By regular standards, I'm about 10 miles west of you. In zone terms, consider me on another planet. There's a valley of perpetual instability enclosing my corner of the zone.
Oh,
and
nice.
Yes, I chose to live here for that exact reason. Leave an old woman in peace. Huh. Working up the courage? Stop thinking and jump off the bridge already.
It's a ramp off the bridge, actually, if we're getting a bit more accurate.
Sierra. Never wanted to think about this place ever again. Head toward town. Colossal Cappy is smack dab in the middle of where Sierram used to be. You can't miss it.
Well, okay then.
Is there a reason you're driving straight towards the largest honkin' anomaly in the zone?
You wanted to know if there's a speck of remnant energy in that car? This is how you do it.
You're using Cappy to amplify the remnant signal. That's insane.
Well, yeah.
Driver, are you...
That's how we roll.
Well, they'll be fine.
It's not fine.
Nothing can happen.
Those radiation
What's the
spikes
worst?
that Colossal Cappy's still giving off after all these years. To achieve any sort of resonance, the driver's going to have to get right up against Cappy.
I get you, Francis, but Oppie's got a point. Any remnant energy lingering in the car is too weak to detect with conventional methods.
Really? You're gonna take her side?
This isn't about sides. It's a good plan.
Well, sure it is.
Risk someone's life just so we can log another remnant sighting.
I'm not risking anyone's life. That car's clearly been protecting the newbie. Something special's going on beneath that hood.
Something
Besides,
special.
There's your sense of experimentation, Francis.
Oh, thanks, but I'm quite content to leave killing someone out of my definition of an experiment.
Thanks, Francis. I appreciate you, bud.
No response. Maybe you need to get closer to Cappy's core way up there. Can you find a way to high ground? Car's still not close enough to Cappy.
What now?
How about, launching the car into Cappy's core?
Yeah, that sounds great.
What?
It's simple. The driver jumps the car into the heart of the anomaly, and if I time it right, I'll open the gateway and extract them.
And if you don't?
I've run some
If you
calculations.
time it
I think
right.
we should be fine. Anyway, it's like they always say. What's an experiment without some risk of total annihilation?
Exactly.
Who says that exactly?
In no way, shape, or form should we be doing this.
Well, but you know, if it's the only way, you got this, kid. Floor it.
Good to see how cavalier you are with my own life there, Tobias. Oh.
Ooh, you know what my favorite remnant was? The record player. You remember, Francis? You play records normally, but then every now and then you hear weird voices. Like that one time it was my 5th grade lunch lady.
This again.
The sooner I get
He's
to
hearing
know
his
myself,
5th grade
the sooner
lunch
you can
lady.
have some peace and quiet.
That doesn't sound right.
Fine.
Hey, I had a girl. Oh boy. Hey, driver, listen. Of all the legends, of all the stories that are spawned in the zone, trust me, there are so many. The remnants, one of the best.
I'll start from the beginning. In 1964, strange objects began.
Oh, they're
appearing throughout the
remnants.
zone. They were
Yeah.
shabby, cast-off things that were imbued with strange properties. A broken microwave that froze food instead of warming it. A rusty can of paint that produced every color in existence. Always so out of place that people were irresistibly drawn to them.
Yeah, you know, like a mysterious car in the forest, right?
Yeah, I like that.
Tobias mentioned that the remnants bind themselves to people, like the cars done with you, and how that led to obsession. These obsessions always started innocently. A sudden
Innocently,
interest in modern
yeah.
train sets,
Most things do.
collecting old road signs. The objects themselves would exhibit anomalous properties, but what didn't in the zone, right? That in itself wasn't cause for alarm. But these fixations would only grow worse, until its victims could think of nothing else but the remnant. And they always ended with spiraling into madness and disappearing in a mad
Spiraling
chase
into
after
madness.
something.
That sounds like
Sorry,
fun.
Driver, it doesn't sound fun, but better to know what you're up against.
Could the remnants' victims still be out there somewhere? I mean, we never heard from them again, but it doesn't mean they all died, right?
If the madness didn't kill them,
Then the zone did.
Anyway, it's been 20 years since the last remnant sighting. We thought they were long gone.
Until you found the car. I wonder if you're already feeling the remnants' effects, driver. Have you been fixating on the car, maybe?
If only we knew where remnants came from. Then we'd have a place to start on how to help you. This is no typical
Yeah.
anomaly.
Right, yeah. The anomalies we know, they're creepy, crawly, and weird. Like visible manifestations. The remnants were the only ones that wormed its way into your brain.
Wormed
There's
into my
something
brain.
Much.
Brain worms. No, not brain worms.
I owe you an apology. I screwed up. I nearly got you killed. The things I used to calculate as easily as turning a screwdriver, they're foggy now. The numbers don't work themselves out like they used to. I haven't
It's called
realized
getting
I've
old,
done,
Oppie.
but I haven't needed to be. It's been me and this cursed place I created and nothing else for decades. But now, knowing that whatever caused the mass hallucination is still out there, I need to know what it is and why the remnants are connected to it.
Hmm.
Francis was right about the remnant and the mass hallucinations paired signals. If we can get them together, maybe they'll cancel each other out and you'll be free. It's
Or
a shaky theory,
everything will
but
blow
it's
up.
the only lead we've got for now. You can do nothing and twiddle your thumbs until that remnant drives you mad. Or, if you're willing to work with me, I'll give you the best chance to survive this thing. Think it through. And fix up your car while you're doing it. You'll need to for whatever you decide from here.
Well, okay then.
If you're ready to do this with me, here's a spot of good news. We aren't completely helpless when it comes to the instability. Back when the zone was active, we built ways to get where we needed to go. I need you to head back towards Sierra. But don't worry, I won't make you jump into Cappy again.
Well, thank goodness.
If you're feeling up for it, take the route back to Sierra. I'll tell you what's next once you're there. The mass hallucination. I can't believe it happened again. I can't believe I missed it.
Holy moly, are you kidding me right now? Oppie, you saw it too, didn't you? Tell me you saw it too.
Saw what?
What do you mean, what? Hallucinations, like the ones from 1961. It happened again, just a quick blip, like blinking your... Wait, you didn't see it?
I was in a total blackout. Colossal
Uh-oh.
fried my systems.
right? Because sending the driver headfirst into Cappy didn't work out like you said it would. Big surprise.
Oh, spare me, Francis. The driver's alive and your remnants verified. Isn't that all you wanted? Now, why are you two yapping about the mass hallucination?
Why?
When Cappy amplified the remnant's signal, it triggered another hallucination event, but it only lasted 3 seconds this time.
Only
And
3
after that,
seconds.
We picked up that its source was northwest of us, specifically.
Yeah, somewhere in the deep zone.
That's impossible. It's been
40
years.
years.
And that's not all. This hallucination wave that triggered, we picked up its waveform. And turns out it's equal and opposite to the remnant's waveform. They're paired signals. It means they're related. And what's more, if we bring that car to whatever this mass hallucination source is, we have a chance of nullifying the remnant and breaking its bond with the driver.
Well, okay, that sounds good. What's the worst that could happen?
After all this time, we find a remnant, a lead on the mass hallucinations of 61, and a possible way to free the driver? Pinch me, Francis, because this is the best thing that's happened in decades. Just when things were getting dull.
the remnants. It was a key to the mass hallucination. This whole time.
This whole
Yes,
time.
and you nearly destroyed it.
I need to go.
This is huge, Francis. We have so much work to do.
I know. I've already pulled every report on the mass hallucination event. Driver, listen, you stay safe out there. We'll report back to you once we've gone through all of this data. There's a lot of it. And be careful. Oppie's not in her right mind, okay? So, watch yourself.
Great, I'm relying on a crazy lady.
So close. But all three stabilizers need to be online at once to make the connection. You'll have to get back out there.
Okay
Nice
then.
work out there. The sector stabilizers are fully operational. You've got a straight shot toward the expansion wall. One more thing. You may want to consider armoring up a bit. Once you cross that wall, the mid-zone is another beast altogether. You lost? Find a cool-in pipe and follow it. All three stabilizers need to be linked for this to work. There's a whole lot standing between where we are and the deep zone. Like another wall and the entire mid-zone for starters. It's not as simple as driving there. We can't control the instability any more than we can control the
Well,
weather.
okay.
At the height of LIM R&D, thousands of us lived and worked here in the zone. So we built LIM stabilizers to make certain sectors and roads a little more predictable than others. It was the only way we could operate as a live research compound despite the instability. And yes, the same technology that destabilized the landscape in the first place. LIM technology was always a double-edged sword.
Always a double-edged sword.
We're going to put those stabilizers to work and clear you a path. The old observation towers surrounding Sierra ought to have a map of the stabilizers in that sector. Mind swinging by and finding one? The towers are locked
Might
in
as
tight,
well.
But you can tighten up security protocols all day only for one disgruntled employee to program in his name for fun and mess it all up. Anyway, the overload code is 4735. Find that stabilizer map and scan it for me.
Oh, boy. I was assigned to clean these towers out every time the guards rotated. And things I saw. Let's just say that keeping a watch on Sierra day in and day out did not make for a good time. I didn't envy those guards one bit.
Well, okay then.
I'm overlaying the map with the available routes near you. There you go. Found 3 sector stabilizers that'll do the job. They're not too far, so I've added the location to your route. The access road will lead you straight there once you're ready. The woods there can be a bit of a maze. If you get lost, follow the pipes.
Follow the
Keeping those
pipes.
stabilizers where
Alright,
it's so damn hot, only
let's do this
you can
heist.
Contain it from complete meltdown.
Go.
All right, we're in business. The stabilizers are coming online, and the way looks clear. But I'm also getting spikes. The stability in your region is tanking.
Get out of there fast.
Fast. It's my turn to give you an explanation about the mass hallucination event that Tobias and Francis were going on about.
On and on and on.
I won't be nearly as long-winded, because there honestly isn't much that we know about it. It happened on the morning of September 14th, 1961. My colleague, Dr. James Kay, was conducting experiments at a highly classified site in the Deep Zone. He was assisted by my husband, Dr. Alan Turner. At 0400, their experiment unleashed a gamma-ray surge that instantly killed both of them. The
Or did
surge
it
in
turn them into the
impossible energy,
Hulk?
orders of magnitude greater than any man-made source. It also triggered hallucinations in anyone awake within a 10-mile radius. It was a burst of widespread insanity, but only for a short moment.
You know, 30 seconds of hallucinations sure didn't feel short when I was free-falling through outer space. Heck of a ride, though. Did you know the rings of Saturn sing?
I
I
didn't.
saw disembodied arms. Tons of them. They were grasping and crawling.
And, what about you, Oppie? What did you see?
I saw nothing.
How is that possible? Everybody else saw something.
Must have passed me by. I don't know what to tell you.
But weren't you working in your lab that night?
Weren't you
Weren't
working?
you supposed to be doing your research rather than keeping track of my whereabouts?
Okay. Wow. Touchy.
Now that we know the remnants were connected to the mass hallucination, maybe we can figure out what caused it.
Oh boy, do I have theories.
Don't start. Dr. K and Alan clearly uncovered some new way of using limbs.
Only Christy made it back.
Oh, yes, precisely. And where do gamma rays come from? But
Out of space.
Feedback on planet Earth, kid. There are plenty of terrestrial sources of gamma rays. Thunderstorms, for example.
No. You said it yourself. The energy levels from that night were much greater than anything we've seen on Earth.
Sure, but going straight to aliens when there's countless perfectly scientific possibilities. Perhaps Dr. K and Alan developed a limb-assisted mass particle collision. Or, heck, tapped into some sort of gamma ray reservoir.
A reservoir? Or a portal?
Atlantis.
To where exactly?
To Atlantis.
Of course! Now why didn't I think of that? That's absolutely it.
Hey, Oppie, you've never cared about any of the Zone's stories and superstitions. So, why now? What's in this for you?
What I do is not and has never been any of your business.
You're asking us to trust you. So yes, it's our business now.
How about this? You two sign off and count orbs or whatever it is you like to do, and I'll get the driver to the mass hallucination source myself.
Excuse me?
No. Tobias found this remnant. This is his discovery.
Sure. And I'll send you a nice gift basket.
Well,
to mark the
nice.
occasion.
Gift basket, yeah.
I won't let anyone interfere with this.
To hell with that. We either throw everything we can at this thing, or we lose this chance, and the answers to the mass hallucination are gone forever.
This isn't like one of
Again,
your
mentioning
Sasquatch.
Sasquatch.
I'm not letting you get your tinfoil pseudoscience anywhere near this. This is too damn important to me.
It sure didn't seem too important earlier when you messed up and nearly killed the driver.
Nearly.
You want to play that game? You really want to talk about our track records?
Screw you, Oppie.
I'd rather run this remnant into the ground than work with either of you.
Oh, forget it. We're wasting our breath with this old bat. There's gotta be another way.
She's out of her mind. I can't do this.
Look, if you want to waste your precious time picking apart bird droppings and squinting at constellations, by all means,
By all
follow their
means.
lead. But we're better off without them. Trust me. I'll get you through no matter what. This really is my last chance.
Something definitely seems fishy.
There's the expansion wall. It separates the outer zone from the mid-zone, and more importantly, us from those two idiots. This will get you one step closer to the deep zone. It's far past its prime, so watch your step. Read me. Major interference in the signal. I'm trying to...
Hmm.
Hello, friend. Welcome to our side of the wall. Oh, what's this? Your connection to Oppie is jammed.
Okay.
Alright,
we're gonna do this while I'm driving. We'll play through it more while we're driving.
Right, ask me if I care. Yeah, the mid-zone's been marinating in all this radiation for so long. Things don't work the same as they do in the outer zone.
But the good news is, we live here. We can help you, no sweat.
First things first, we've got to extend the signal from the garage. Otherwise, Oppie's equipment won't be much help. Hooking you into a mid-zone stabilizer should do the trick. Look around. You should be able to see...
Delta 1, what's happening? How you doing? Alright, let's start the next recording playing. There we go.
Okay, a stabilizer in Section D is online. Coming through loud and clear. Hey, Francis, pan the car's broadcast frequency to the stabilizer, would you?
Just chilling and farming.
Are you?
Per the usual. Gotcha, Delta. Alright. There we go.
Okay, a stabilizer in Section D is online. Coming through loud and clear. Hey, Francis, pan the car's broadcast frequency to the stabilizer, would you? Hey, come on, I can't do this without you.
Fine. There. Your receiver's hooked in now.
And we're patched into all that sweet ARC device data. Nice work. Oppie won't be able to block us out anymore. Well, better get going. Here it comes.
Well, alright then.
Hey, driver. Sorry about all that mess with Oppie. There's no question. Oppie is a once-in-a-generation genius. I've watched her manipulate wavelengths with nanometer precision without batting an eye. So, yeah, to see her go from being the sharpest person in the room to
Out this way,
what she
yeah.
is now is disappointing.
Disappointing.
This place, it leeches away your sanity day by day. So for Oppie to live here in complete isolation, locked away with only bad memories and expired medication, nothing good comes of that.
Nothing
I'd feel a
good
hell of a
comes
lot
of
better
that.
If I knew why she suddenly cares so much about the remnants.
You'd feel a lot better, would you, Tobias? Well, looking to feel better, Tobias. Alright. There we go. Alright, now something I do. Oh yeah,
Francis.
I set up
I think we can't do this alone.
this.
It's not that I doubt our abilities, but no one knows the zone like that old bat.
You heard what she said.
Dilate
She'll sabotage this remnant before helping
this
Right.
to be limb shield.
She'll come
then
around to our
murder.
jobs.
No, she won't. Nothing in the
That's
13
arced up.
years we spent in
Up.
R&D proof that she's open to working with anyone. She dug her heels in so deep that she wrestled everyone down into the grave with her. I can't be involved if she is.
Well then, Francis, that's not nice.
What are you talking about? This is the entire reason we stayed behind, to write the record of the zone. Not about the experiments and the technology, but to tell the legends of the land.
I don't want anything to do with her. I don't want to talk to her. I don't want her advice. I don't want to hear her goddamn voice.
This isn't like you. What's going on, Francis? Is there something I should know?
No.
All your work in Lim R&D, all the time you spent, your entire career, your entire life. You sacrificed it all for Arda, and how did they thank you? With a black hole in your resume, where you can't tell anyone what you did. You couldn't even tell people where you wiped your ass for 10 years. So no.
Well, that's not nice.
Not for me, but especially not for you.
That's not... Never mind.
You know, sometimes I wonder, how much of you staying here was actually to hunt these legends? Or if it was because you had nowhere else to go.
Well, that's not nice to say, Tobias. Not nice at all. Alright, here we go.
Wow. He was hiding a magic teleporter? We could have been beaming all over the zone this whole time?
You could have.
Don't worry, I'll restore her connection once you do us a little favor. We suspect
Once
Dobby's
I
hiding
do you a
copy of
favor.
Arda's database in that auto shop of hers. Find it, and we can get back to this remnant business.
Ah, damn it. Got myself wedged.
Sorry, driver. We wouldn't have to do this if Oppie were of sound mind. But we can't stand by while she messes up some calculation and kills you.
Boy, oh boy, look at all these.
Look at all the gizmos.
Oppie wasn't operating no normal auto shop. A fabrication station. Oh, her personal vault? I bet there's some good stuff in there.
I'm uncomfortable intruding like this. Can you not?
Hold the phone. There's a machine that prints bobbleheads.
What? Show me.
A machine that prints bobbleheads, yeah. Those bunnies can F off. The security lock.
I've identified the electrical circuit for the garage's security system.
Francis needs to chill. He does, yeah.
So once I do this, bingo! Security lock's powered on now. We try that overload code from the observation towers. 4735. Hey, driver, you seen any trapdoors or secret passageways in that garage?
Yeah, all over the place.
Practical for
Tobias.
probably in a locked room or by a dusty computer.
I'll bet my poetry collection is in there. It's gotta be.
Why would she leave something that valuable, let alone classified, in an abandoned garage?
Precisely because it's an abandoned garage.
Well, now that's tricky. We're gonna stop real quick and go grab that attic tube. Oh, there we go. Go.
Something you should know about that database? When Arda's funding began to dry up, they handed us our final paycheck with one hand and the same day evacuation orders with the other. Oppie was a higher up, though more entitled than an actual power by that time. She would have known about Arda's plan to close up shop and had enough time to download all the research data before losing access. That data could contain what we need to help you.
Oh, you did it! Hey, you actually did it! Boy howdy, I cannot wait to dig through all this data.
You got nothing but time, Tobias.
Promised, I'll fix Oppie's connection.
Do you read me? Come in. Do you read me?
Loud and clear, you old bat.
I see. The comms clear up suddenly, and I find you two patched into the garage frequency. It all makes sense now.
No idea what you're talking about. So, Oppie, what's the plan? You must have some grand scheme, don't you?
Let me get this straight. You hijacked my mission, tapped into my frequency, and now you want to be all buddy-buddy. Not on your life. You think you're hot stuff. Why don't you take the lead then? Get the driver through all by your damn selves.
Ooh, she's salty.
Well, guess it's our time to shine. So, Francis, you got any ideas?
Well, we know the driver needs to get to the deep zone, but it's too dangerous to head there directly. We have to zero in on exactly where to go. The signal amplification trick won't work here. The ambient instability is too strong in the mid-zone.
Well, okay then.
How indeed. There was one other time where the mass hallucination and the remnants intersected. Driver, I've tagged a route for you. Whenever you're ready, give it a spin.
Well, okay then.
Interesting thing about that deep zone area you identified. I ran every coordinate in that area through the Arda database, and what turns up? But access logs with entry records for Dr. K up through March 1963.
What? No, the doctor died in 1961. in the lab accident.
Maybe not.
Then, I found access logs for both that Deep Zone site and Red Meadow. Here's a year's worth of activity.
A year's worth of activity. Let's go. Come on. Load up.
Are you ready, driver? Okay, first off, I've loaded up 3 locations on your ARC device map. You see them? Head to whichever strikes your fancy.
This way.
You're sending them to the Visions?
Sure am. We're gonna use this.
My optical vassalizer. We shouldn't use that.
Why not?
I mean, it's been decades. No way that thing is in any sort of working shape.
I've been fixing her up in secret, and I'm sorry.
Owie.
It's gonna be a surprise for your birthday.
Whoa, okay, so I gotta go off the side here. We gotta off-road this bitch a little bit. What's the worst that could happen? There we go. Alright, I should have an anchor around here somewhere too. And if it's here, I might as well grab it. Oh, we need to go this way. Back up. There we go. And let's start another recording going. The Visions.
Oh, I've gone ahead and made an itty-bitty modification.
Itty-bitty.
Said driver. I've hooked up the basalizer here to modulate your scan function. Think of it like an extra layer of mayonnaise on your technology sandwich.
What are you using the vassalizer for?
No spoilers. We have to tell the story from the beginning. Driver.
What'd he grab?
Feast your eyes on
Damn pickpockets.
Visions.
Grab my headlight, you stupid dick. Friggin' hate those pickpockets. Alright, here we go into the deep zone. If I pass some, I might grab some Olympium. We'll see. I wasn't going to do any farming this run, but Olympium is a different story. Alright. Start another logbook entry.
This is where your theory comes in, Francis. You tell him. Oh, look at me babbling away. Francis, you explain it. It's so good.
No, it's just...
Okay.
I'd rather not.
Hey, come on, we talked about this. You should be proud of your work. Toot your own horn.
There we go.
Not this time.
Okay, well, Francis' theory, his entire branch of research was that the zone exhibits a property seen nowhere else on Earth. Every phenomena that occurs here leaves its fingerprint forever on the physical space. So he created this device to pick up on these sub-physical after effects. How did you explain it? It was like identifying a whale's favorite color using only the wake it leaves behind. The rest was science mumbo-jumbo.
It's a form of electromagnetic...
Favorite color.
Anyway.
Yeah, alright. That makes no sense.
And what a better
Let's
time than
check
now
this
to
Numa
find
tube real quick. God damn it. There we go. That's the right button. Black stripes, don't care. Alright. I work. Shining up something like Delta. I gotta work in about an hour, OE. Somewhere around there. Okay, so that's a blacksmith anomaly. Means there's probably Olympium around here somewhere. Tends to be around it. Ah! But I don't have the resource radar anymore. Let's take a little look. Let's see if we see any of that purple glow. No, not seeing any Olympium. Oh, I gotta turn towards that. Okay. Cross country here real quick. Nope, we gotta turn the other way. Oh. The limb magnet. Oh no, okay, we gotta go straight across here like that. There we go. Oh, before we do, start another recording.
Ah, the Bigfoot mural. My personal favorite.
The Great Pile Up. If you catch the mural at the right angle, when the moon is right overhead, you can spot the helmsman's body in one of the boats.
No chance. It's a paint smudge. Nothing more.
Believe me, it's true. I've seen it.
He's seen it.
The inverting doorway.
No. I don't like this one. Hey, is it just me or did this mural look different before?
Probably the instability messing with the paint over time. It's been decades after all.
Nah, something's definitely off. Hey, where's our old notes from when we took a field trip out that way?
A field trip.
Driver, why don't you go ahead to the next one while we investigate this? Oh, did you see that, Francis? Oh boy, Francis, look! Look here, it's different from our sketch when we visited in '82.
It's all scrambled, but the shape seems familiar. If you tilt your head, doesn't that kind of look like Mount Olympus?
Uh-oh.
Francis, you flippin' genius! It absolutely is. Wait, let's look back at the first one. What's different there?
That shape right there, is that Hook Valley?
Did I flip back over?
Holy smokes.
I did. Ah.
Wait, pull up all the topographical maps of the peninsula. If we look around the areas where you'd get that view of Mount Olympus... See, Francis? I told you your basilizer would work. I don't...
His basilizer worked.
Basiliser's doing. Driver, we're on to something. Get to that third vision.
Okay.
Oh, bingo!
See that pattern in the last mural? That flower only grows above a certain elevation. Put the three locations together, and you've got a square mile in the northeast corner of the deep zone. Huh. The visions were pointing towards something the entire time.
Hey, Hoppy.
Let's go get me a
You
little
can
bit
stop
of
pretending to ignore us
juice.
now. Take a look at this fine work.
We've pinned down the location for the source of the mass hallucination. That's where the driver needs to go.
Well, what do you know?
Well, I knew the basilizer worked. What did I tell you, huh?
He still doesn't know, Francis.
Know what? Uppy?
Not my story to share.
Uh-oh.
My theory, and that basilizer, they're illegitimate.
Wait, what are you saying?
I built that device to prove my imprint theory, and it was on the verge of getting the results I needed. But my research funding was running out. So, I forged the data. Not much.
Oh.
Just enough to
You can't fudge data, Francis?
I knew
Come on.
it was right around the corner. But Arda found out. That's why I was reassigned and my clearance revoked.
Wait, you told me you changed labs voluntarily.
8 years of research with nothing to show for it, and then for that to happen,
Voluntarily, not so much, I don't think.
That doesn't mean your theory is wrong. I still think there's something to it. There's a common thread with some of the remnant stories, like the telephone switchboard, the ones that seem to recall the past somehow. Maybe the remnants access those imprints, read them like a needle in the groove of a record.
Don't. You don't.
There
have
we
to do
go.
that. It's in the past. I don't care about it anymore.
Oh, he doesn't care about it anymore. Alright, let me see. Do some quick car repairs while we play another logbook entry. So I believe that was the last of the missions. Yep, on to the painter.
So we told you about the mass hallucination. Hundreds of people, 30 seconds of crazy, yada yada. But there was one instance where that event
Snooze, you lose, yeah.
intersected. The story of Laura Cesari. Laura worked at Arda as an executive secretary.
Okay.
She put in her hours, but she spent her evenings with a real passion. Painting. When the hallucination event
My door's gone?
Laura was overtaken like everyone
Oh,
else.
that motherfucker.
But for her, the visions didn't stop. She tried painting them, but grew frustrated at her inability to recreate.
What happened to my door?
Now at first,
Oh, that's not good.
whose brains got scrambled by what they saw.
Oh, that's not good at all.
Laura stumbled across a rusty can of paint
Shit.
in the woods. It was a remnant.
Shit,
Once she
shit, shit,
started
shit,
using
shit.
this paint, the visions in her paintings began to come true.
That sucks.
She painted feverishly for over a year, chasing the visions the entire time. Until the
Damn
day
it.
the paint ran
And I
out.
have no idea where that door went.
She
No
disappeared,
idea.
like all remnant holders do.
Now that we know the remnants and the mass hallucination are related, maybe Laura's visions can help us out.
Maybe. Okay.
Driver, if you come across a mushroom like the one in the mural, do not eat it. No, no matter how tasty it might look.
Well, that's where. Okay. Jump to the end.
You're speaking from personal experience. And let me tell you, it wasn't pretty.
Oh, just thinking about it makes me want to puke all over again.
Ah, damn it.
Probably past the biogenerators by now. They're our source of power in the mid-zone.
Shit.
Test demonstrations
They're robbing you. They are, I know.
Yes, these battery farms keep our lights
Oh,
on.
missing that door is not good.
So the only place in the entire zone where anomalized mushrooms grow.
Hmm. I can go straight there. The anomaly barricade. Alright, I gotta put that door back on. It's not gonna be, I don't think I'm gonna be able to craft another Olympium door. But I've anything on me to craft either. Shit. Alright. I gotta pee real quick. I'll be back. Alright, let's see here. How far back was my last save? Don't. Wait. Well, and I just created a save there, so hold on. Let me jump back to here. See where this takes me to. So this might be the end of my last achievement run. Oh wow, no, this is way back. Oh yeah, okay, this is right before, as I was getting set up for my final run. Ah, damn it. Alright. That's too far back. Might have to just suck it up and go. Not a door here. Play some more of these recordings real quick. So that's where I gotta go to. It's nice that it's right close to my entrance. Alright. Let's play some more entries.
Give us a rundown,
Logbook.
Francis.
What, me?
The electrical grid is your department.
You know the plan as well as I do.
So you'd rather trust me than have to speak up for yourself? Guess you're on your own, driver. Good luck.
Okay, fine. The regular anchors aren't enough to overcharge the arc device to the level we need.
Okay.
But there's an old anomaly barricade we can piggyback onto. It's archaic technology, an early attempt to stop anomalies from drifting out into the wider Olympic Peninsula. It worked for some time.
Okay.
Until it didn't.
Until it
Long
didn't.
enough to get the old wall built.
The barricade's in bad shape, but what's a little rampant voltage leakage? Not like the ghosts and goblins of the Deep Zone will mind.
No,
And
it's
if
not
they
like
do,
it.
more the better for Francis. Huh?
Appreciate the olive branch, Oppie, but boy, do you have a lot to learn about the paranormal. I'd be happy to give you a primer after all this is over.
Ugh, hard pass. I'm far too old for that.
The car will induce a current along the barricade, in the same way you did it crossing the old wall. Every connection point needs to be induced.
Oh,
within a
another
limited
one of
time.
those.
Electrify the entire barricade, and we'll have all the power we need.
You heard him. Floor it, driver.
Oh, that's gonna be fun. Alright.
No, I'm telling you, the helmsman never made it out of the zone. He died here.
Not this
Hello.
again.
Hey, Christy, what's going on?
Not much. My guy just went to bed, so
It was the winter
now I'm
of
waiting for my son to get home.
the Columbia River 100 miles east of here. The helmsman
Fair enough. Well, thanks for dropping in.
and while
Yeah.
How was your day today?
the boat
It was good.
Yeah? Alright.
threw him from
Thanks to Delta, I found the cave that I was looking for.
Awesome! Hell yeah!
Yes. And I've been building,
anyone and everyone to get him
and Rev looked up more stuff, and so because it's such a big cave, I can
Mhm.
add to what I was gonna do. So
Oh, that's awesome. But you definitely did let me know when you're done.
was 20 boats high,
I will.
30 boats wide.
A limb duplication glitch, nothing more.
And you, of all people, blaming Lim Tech instead of a good old-fashioned mystery?
It doesn't add up.
I didn't know if I should get on because I don't want to interrupt this.
No, you're fine. Don't
Where are
worry.
you on?
And a mysterious man with a backpack.
Oh, he's trying to sneak in a heist.
Yeah, he is. Oh, sneaky.
Awfully fishy to me.
Thanks for pointing it out.
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
We're on to you.
Yeah, I can't.
There we are.
Francis, you explain it.
Maybe you've already seen them, driver. A freestanding bright blue door in its frame, out in the wilderness with nothing around it. If you do see one, don't get anywhere close to
So
it.
what
Yeah,
missions
because
are you
that's
on
going to be
tonight?
my very first idea, to go a door in the middle of nowhere. Let's go through it. That's great. That's going to be absolutely my first impulse. So, yeah, this is the final, I think it's the final run. But I'm running out of time, and I'm probably not going to be able to finish it. But I'm also a little upset about losing that door. I don't know where I lost it, but with it missing, the car won't protect me from the radiation out in the zone. The car only protects you if it's fully intact. And so, I don't know, I'm kind of...
To the garage anyway, huh?
Yeah, I'm thinking I might reload that old save, but we'll see here. I'm going to play through a bit more of these recordings, and then I think I might have to call it.
Yeah.
And then I'll catch back up to this place offline, and
Now,
tomorrow
are you?
stream it.
You're not moving to nights, are you?
No,
just filling in still?
just filling in. Yeah, the usual overnight pharmacist had a death in the family, and so
I thought that you'd say.
yeah, covering the rest of her week shift. With the overnight pharmacist, they do week on, week off.
Oh wow.
So I'm covering the rest of her week, and then the other lady will come in and work her week, and then the current lady will come back. So it'll give her a couple weeks off at least.
Is that easier to do it a week on and a week off, or does that just completely throw out your schedule?
There's good and bad about it. The good part is you're only working half a year, but during your off weeks, usually a day either side of it is spent resetting your sleep schedule. So it works it worked real nice when I was single and didn't have kids. But yeah, once I had the kids, it got a bit tougher.
I imagine.
He hasn't left the bedroom.
I'm sorry you didn't know about his demotion. It wasn't my secret to tell.
Demoted.
This is between him and me. So, what did Alan tell you about his work? He was second in command of Dr. K's lab, after all.
Alan didn't discuss his work with me, nor did I share mine with him.
Wait, you were head of the whole stinking department. You must have known something about what their lab was doing.
If there was anything useful to be found, I'd have sussed it out already. Well, that's all I did after the accident. Try and fail to find any answers.
Well, okay
Dr.
then.
K's access records were coded to the lab that used to be here.
I'm feeling less optimistic by the second. Now to scour this place clean.
Something's here. We just can't see it.
Oh, following a hunch. Not your usual MO, Oppie.
No, but being suspicious of Arda is.
Whoa, driver, hang on. Where are you going? That should have been the end of the facility.
According to the blueprints, anyway.
MGG, who was making this through this part of the story just Friday night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is that inside the Red Meadows research facility that he got to at the end of his stream on Friday.
Give us a moment. We'll let you know what we found in all this data. You can make your way back to the auto shop after you're done scouring the place. And driver?
So he's really liking it too, huh?
He is, yeah, he got hooked. I figured he would. It seems like his type of game, yeah.
Fantastic. Tobias, run those reports through the decryptor and see what you can find.
And the well is where I'm headed
This,
now.
Tobias, your remnant origin story, if you will.
Let me guess. You're about to ruin a good urban legend with a bunch of
Fine, I'll read this one myself. Nice work, driver. We'll review these and summarize our findings after. These lab notes are complete gibberish.
What about these diagrams, though? It looks like he was trying to convey something.
You can admire the doctor's newfound art skills all you want. You won't find anything useful in them.
This is a decrypted record of the accident. Poppy, are you sure you want to hear this? It's got details about Alan's final moments.
It's been over 30 years. I'm past ready. Go on, driver. Keep snooping and see what else you can find. Alan's lab notes. Maybe my late husband sent us something useful from the grave after all.
He made it home.
All right. Well, I think at that I'm gonna have to call it because I've got to get ready and head into work. Richard Head Gaming. Well, since Richard Head Gaming showed up, it's definitely time to cut the stream off.
Definitely time to head out.
Welcome in, my friend. It's really no reflection on you. I've gotta get to work, but I appreciate you stopping in. It is a 4-letter word, but got to be done. Yeah. So I appreciate everybody coming and hanging out with me today. Not a super exciting stream, but hopefully people will be able to watch it back and kind of get some of the storyline of the game for when I go ahead and play through to the end tomorrow. Probably, I think I'm gonna go through and see if I can beat this, get to the well, see what happens when I get the remnant into the well, and see if it triggers a mass hallucination event for the world. So I am definitely interested to see how this whole game wraps up, how they tie the storyline together. I hope they do a good job of it. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, but we'll see. So appreciate everybody coming and hanging out today. Yeah, there have been a couple games I can think of that were phenomenal games that were just absolutely ruined by a terrible ending. The very, very top of that list is a game called Prey that I just thoroughly enjoyed. Loved, and it's by Arcane Studios, which is one of my favorite studios. So I was really psyched for the game. Had a great time. It's a fantastic game. The gameplay is wonderful. Storyline's awesome. You get to the end and nothing is tied up. No loose ends, or there's no resolution at all, period. And it's just a gigantic mindfuck. And I was not happy. But that's a common refrain with people who play Prey, is that everybody hates the ending. Yeah. So thanks for coming and hanging out tonight, everybody. I will be live again tomorrow. I don't know if it'll be morning or evening. It'll probably be evening tomorrow. And yeah, we'll be finishing up Pacific Drive. So come hang out and see how this all ends up. So take it easy, and we'll talk to you all tomorrow. We got anybody live? I should probably check. Let's see. Be nice. Let's see what we got. Oh, well, there you go. Will Badger's playing some Cyberpunk. So yeah, everybody jump over, say hi to Will, and check out some Cyberpunk. I might be playing that after Pacific Drive. But I think I'm gonna switch to Penkura next, actually. But was definitely tempted for Cyberpunk. But
yeah, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, Manbeard's right with all the text, though. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm still kind of on the fence, but. Thanks for coming in, everybody. We'll talk to you all tomorrow.
Name of the ship was the Billy O.T. The winds blew harder, bowed it down below me, bully boys blow. Soon may the weathermen come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. She'd not been 2 weeks from shore when down on her a right whale bore. The captain called all hands and swore he'd take that whale in tow. Soon may the weathermen come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Before the boat had hit the water, the whale's tail came up and caught her. All hands to the side harpooned and fought her when she dived down low. Soon may the weathermen come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. No captain's mind was not on greed, but he belonged to the whaleman's creed. She took that ship in tow. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea.